infection as preventive measures like the use of masks and PPE kits. About three-fourths of people infected in Massachusetts COVID-19 outbreak were fully vaccinated according to new data that's been published on Friday. Now let us watch this video on how impactful, how much of effect and toll it takes on the medical fraternity who especially handle the COVID-19.
We have to literally manage patients at home with oxygen, and this is not something we are enjoying. So I really want all of you to follow a few things that I really, अगर आपको लग रहा है कि आपको 1 साल से कोरोना नहीं हुआ है इसलिए आप कोई सुपर हीरो हो या आपकी इम्यूनिटी बहुत अच्छी है और आपको ऐसे कुछ नहीं होगा, तो आपको देख रहे हैं to help people now. So we do not want, we really don't want any of you to be in that situation. So sorry. आई थिंक ये जो इमोशनल ब्रेकडाउन है हम डॉक्टर्स में अब सबको कोई ना कोई समय हो रहा है बिकॉज वी हैव नॉट बीन सो हेल्पलेस. ओके, we have to literally manage patients at home with oxygen.
So private sector being involved and more testing being done is good, because I have always suspected from day one that the numbers which are being declared and announced are just the tip of the iceberg. And I have said it 2 days back also on your show that the real numbers are many times more, and there is infection which is simmering in the community and it's there waiting to explode any day. And I must share with you that I just read half an hour back that today about 30 people have tested positive in NIV Pune. Now this is something I read on the internet. I do not know whether it is correct or not, but if it's correct, it's a very serious matter. I have also read about somebody in AIIMS Bhopal who is a positive case, having come in contact with a large number of doctors about which the Resident Doctors Association have complained. Now, Vishnu, these are clear-cut indicators of what is happening at the community level. If anyone today says that this is still in stage 2, we have
see a sharp spike in death rates.
Vishnu, if you track the numbers that are increasing for the last 10 days, first we had few cases, no death. Then we had 5 to 6 per day increase in the number of cases. And then we had little more increase in the number of cases. And if you look at the number of cases added in the last 24 hours, it's the largest number added in the last 2 weeks. Yesterday, the number was around 156 or 160. I'm talking of the reported cases. And today we are touching 250. So roughly 70, 80 declared cases added in the, which is the largest increase. So not only are the numbers increasing, but the increase in the numbers of numbers is also increasing. And this just is reflective of a large volume of cases which are there out there in the society. And I guess by Wednesday or Thursday or latest by the next weekend, this bomb will explode in front of us. And when it happens, when you have a large number of people falling sick, as has been said. Now look at that graphic.
Yep.
The largest increase in the number of cases has been today. This could be more tomorrow. This could be still more day after tomorrow. And I don't think we need artificial intelligence to figure out where this graph will ultimately lead to. So we are just a few days away from a very, very serious, maybe Spain or Italy or China like situation. And when we have a large number of cases infected, of course, majority of them will be mild, but given our population density, given that a large number of people in our country suffer from undernutrition, various lung ailments, diabetes is so common in our country, heart disease is so common, and the kind of health resources, health infrastructure we have at the periphery, I don't think again we need artificial intelligence to be able to figure out that these large number of cases will also convert into a large number of deaths, which is now not too far away for us to be seeing. The writing is there on the wall. If we still want to close our eyes, the choice is ours.
More COVID deaths are seen unless US changes its ways. Behavior is really going to determine if, when and how sustainably the current waves subsidizes, says Lauren Ansel Mears, director of University of Texas COVID-19 Modeling Consortium. The current 7-day moving average of daily new COVID-19 cases in US was over 150,000 people, up 4.9% from the previous week. COVID-19 is a threat to peace building in conflict-affected nations. COVID-19 crisis has worsened the already fragile situations. The new strain of COVID-19 detected in 6 new countries. The ongoing COVID-19 pandemic isn't over yet, and new highly mutated COVID C1.2 strain is being discovered in South Africa. It is a testimony to say how dangerously the virus can adapt to bypass the vaccines when the world decides to reopen prematurely. The C1.2 variant has been termed the world's most mutated variant since the beginning of the pandemic. The new COVID variant C.1.2 causes flutter. The World Health Organization says that it is watching. The World Health Organization has said that to date, there are 100 sequences of C.1.2 reported globally, from earliest reports from May 2021 from South Africa, and currently it does not appear to be increasing in circulation. The new variant was first found in South Africa in May. Researchers from South Africa has described the C.1.2 variant, which has 40 to 59 mutations, more than the original Wuhan virus. In its spike protein, there are 14 mutants, which include the usual suspects. A group of Japanese researchers said that a new mutation of COVID-19 Delta variant had been discovered for the first time in the country. Local media reported on Tuesday that the mutation was found when a patient infected with Delta variant visited the institute earlier this month. Genetic analysis revealed that this mutation, as per this mutation, only 8 cases of mutation has been reported outside Japan. C.1.2 variant of COVID is found in 7 countries, can be more than what we consider as infectious. Know if vaccines will work against this new mutation. Amidst the concerns over the possible third wave of COVID-19, researchers in Singapore have detected a new variant of deadly virus C.1.2, which is said to be more infectious than the Delta variant, which triggered the devastating second COVID wave. The variant was first found in South Africa, but now has spread to many countries. This new variant is more infectious as it seems to be more transmissible. And this new variant was first detected in South Africa in May. Until now, it has found in 7 countries, including China, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Mauritius, England, New Zealand, Portugal, and Switzerland. Dr. Samiran Panda, the head of epidemiology and communicable diseases at Indian Council of Medical Research, says that the states which did not face an intense second COVID wave are now with the increasing trend of COVID cases. This early signs of a third wave. Several states began imposing COVID-19 restrictions and increased the vaccinations, learning from Delhi and Maharashtra. During India, as the death toll increases,
But today we saw startling new evidence of the ravages of the pandemic in India. Now, it was already a dire situation, the government reporting more than 415,000 people have died. But most infectious disease experts agree the real toll is almost certainly much higher. Today, the Washington-based Center for Global Development released the most comprehensive study on the impact of the coronavirus in India. And as feared, it says India's death toll could be a staggering 10 times higher than the official tally. Now, that would mean 4.7 million additional deaths from the start of the pandemic until June of this year. And just a few months ago, India saw a devastating rise in infections driven largely by the more infectious Delta variant. Well, joining us now is one of the authors of that report. Abhishek Anand is a graduate of Harvard's Kennedy School, and he has worked as a policy analyst for the Indian government. He joins me tonight from Delhi. It's good to have you on the program. We knew that India's COVID-related deaths were higher than the official figures, but were you surprised? Were you shocked at what came out of your research? I mean, we're talking about nearly 5 million extra deaths.
Yeah, we were surprised, to be frank, because
inadequacy of modern healthcare and need for holistic solution. Holistic solution need. During the Ebola outbreak in West Africa in 2014, more people died from the interruption of social services and economic background than from the virus itself. This should not have happened, and the world cannot let it happen. As the world enters the deepest global recession since the Great Depression, we need to connect health needs to social, economic, and environmental. need to ensure that the essential health services are still available, and need to protect the health systems, need to protect people, cope with the adversity during this social protection and basic services, need to promote social cohesion and community-led resilience and response systems, a mutually beneficial symbiotic relationship between humans and their surrounding ecosystems is inter alia, the answer to more resilient economies and societies. UN efforts for health first, protecting health services and systems during the crisis. Health systems are being overwhelmed by COVID-19 outbreak. When health systems collapse, deaths from outbreak itself can quickly be exceeded by deaths from preventable or treatable conditions no longer managed by the failing health system. It is therefore crucial to maintain the essential life-saving health services even while addressing the pandemic. At least half of the world still do not have full coverage to essential health services, and about 100 million people are still being pushed to extreme poverty because of health issues. There are two-phase strategy. First is targeted actions to allow the countries to maintain essential life-saving health services even as they surge to meet the spike in demand for acute care. Second is contemporary effort targeting health systems recovery, preparedness, and strengthening with a focus on primary health care and universal health coverage and preparedness for future waves of COVID-19.
Of a temple where scenario for most nations. But this is horror on another scale entirely. The car park of a temple where families who've been turned away from emergency rooms take their dying.
आप 5 मिनट देखो अभी 85 है सर आप थोड़ी देर उनको रोको तो सही देखो तो सही कि स्टेबल हो रहा है नहीं हो रहा ऑक्सीजन दवा नहीं होती इतना घबराओ मत पैनिक मत करो.
These are some of the most distressing scenes we've witnessed during the course of our reporting. And this isn't even a hospital. It's a Sikh temple where they're just helping out with oxygen and basic care. It's 45 degrees and it's so hot that the volunteers cannot even wear their PPEs, and people just keep coming and coming and coming, and there's just no room at any of the local hospitals for the people who are here.
In ordinary times, they distribute free meals here. But there's nothing ordinary about what is happening to these families. At least 12 people die outside this temple every day. Today brought him here. The doctor isn't hopeful. He advises Vipin to keep looking for a hospital. But their ambulance driver is out of ideas. Help is arriving here slowly, in tiny amounts. India's deadly second wave has forced the nation's supply chain of oxygen far beyond its limit. And every avoidable death heaps more pressure on Narendra Modi's government. More accusations that he failed to prepare his country for this. Surjit Singh Sandhu volunteers here at great risk. Many of those helping out are testing positive for COVID themselves. He puts his faith in his temple.
देखो साड़ी सरकार ये बैठी है बाबा नानक ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਮੰਨਦੇ ਸਾਡੀ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਨੇ ਬਾਬਾ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੈ ਉਹਨੇ ਲੰਗਰ ਚਲਾਇਆ ਸੀ 500 ਸਾਲ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ
Hope comes from the patients they do manage to save.
ठीक है अच्छी है माता जी चिंता मत करो कितने पे आए थे 30 पे 77 है अरे इतनी ऑक्सीजन खाई माता जी कोई बात नहीं चलो खाते रहो
So scarce are supplies, people are flooding social media and phoning hospitals across New Delhi searching for canisters. Srinivas, president of the Indian Youth Congress, has set up a war room in his office. His team coordinates requests for oxygen, hospital beds and drugs. 100 volunteers man the phones. The few hours a night they do manage to sleep are spent in the office. Across the capital, Mohammed Shamim is also run off his feet. He's an undertaker at a Muslim cemetery like his father and grandfather before him. He thought he had seen it all. Then the second wave hit.
ऐसा है माहौल तो ऐसा है जनाब कि हमारे जो कब्रिस्तान की जो ब्लॉक है कोविड ब्लॉक है वो तकरीबन सारा भर चुका है लेकिन ये है कि बस जो थोड़ी बहुत जगहें बची हुई हैं तो उन्हीं जगहों में हम जो उन जगहों को इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं और क्या आप देख सकते हो कब्र से कब्र मिला के खोदी जा रही है अब तो कि जगह को ज़रा सा भी हम वेस्ट नहीं जाने दे रहे हैं
Up to 20 bodies arrive each day, he says. Far more young people than last time. By the end of the week, there will be no space left here.
हेलो
Calls come in from 6 a.m. until midnight.
कोविड से हुआ उनका भी ठीक है ले आइए हाँ लेके आ जाइए हाँ वहीं ले आइए मैं जो भी कुछ हो करा दूँगा टेंशन मेरी टीम वर्कर हैं मेरे और भी स्टाफ के लोग हैं उन लोगों को भी ज़िंदगी में ऐसा कभी हमने देखने को नहीं मिला जो इस बार हमें देखने को मिल रहा है ना तो रोज़े रख पा रहे हैं ना ही किसी तरीके से कुछ कर पा रहे हैं बस वहीं से कपड़ा छोड़ो थोड़ा सा झुक जाओ
Crematoriums are running out of space too. Makeshift funeral pyres burn around the clock. The death toll in parts of India, both metropolitan and rural, is staggering. And worse still, the number of lives lost here so far is almost certainly vastly underreported. Hospitals have been the worst case COVID scenario for most nations. But this is horror on another scale entirely. The car park of a temple, where families who've been turned away from emergency rooms take their dying.
और 5 मिनट दे पाऊंगा सर, अभी 85 है सर। आप थोड़ी देर उनको रोको तो सही, देखो तो सही कि स्टेबल हो रहा है नहीं हो रहा। ऑक्सीजन दवा नहीं होती, इतना घबराओ मत, पैनिक मत करो।
These are some of the most distressing scenes we've witnessed during the course of our reporting. And this isn't even a hospital. It's a Sikh temple where they're just helping out with oxygen and basic care. It's 45 degrees and it's so hot that the volunteers cannot even wear their PPEs. And people just keep coming and coming and coming. And there's just no room at any of the local hospitals for the people who are here.
In ordinary times, they distribute free meals here. But there's nothing ordinary about what is happening to these families. At least 12 people die outside this temple every day. Today, Preeti Gautam is praying her father is not one of them. She and her brother Vipin panicked when he could no longer breathe on his own at home. They tried taking him to different hospitals, but there were no beds. So they brought him here. The doctor isn't hopeful. He advises Vipin to keep looking for a hospital. But their ambulance driver is out of ideas. Help is arriving here slowly, in tiny amounts. India's deadly second wave has forced the nation's supply chain of oxygen far beyond its limit. And every avoidable death heaps more pressure on Narendra Modi's government. More accusations that he failed to prepare his country for this. Surjit Singh Sandhu volunteers here at great risk. Many of those helping out are testing positive for COVID themselves. He puts his faith in his temple.
देखो साड़ी सरकार ये बैठी है बाबा नानक ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਮੰਨਦੇ ਸਾਡੀ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਨੇ ਬਾਬਾ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੈ ਉਹਨੇ ਲੰਗਰ ਚਲਾਇਆ ਸੀ 500 ਸਾਲ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ
Hope comes from the patients they do manage to save.
ठीक है अच्छी है माता जी चिंता मत करो कितने पे आए थे 30 पे 77 है अरे इतनी ऑक्सीजन खाई माता जी कोई बात नहीं चलो खाते रहो
So scarce are supplies, people are flooding social media and phoning hospitals across New Delhi searching for canisters. Srinivas, president of the Indian Youth Congress, has set up a war room in his office. His team coordinates requests for oxygen, hospital beds, and drugs. 100 volunteers man the phones. The few hours a night they do manage to sleep are spent in the office.
हाँ ये भाई पहन लो पीपी किट देना संभाल के और थोड़ा दूर से हाथ लगाना सेफ रहना
Across the capital, Mohammed Shamim is also run off his feet. He's an undertaker at a Muslim cemetery, like his father and grandfather before him. He thought he had seen it all. Then the second wave hit.
ऐसा है माहौल तो ऐसा है जनाब कि हमारे जो कब्रिस्तान की जो ब्लॉक है कोविड ब्लॉक है वो तकरीबन सारा भर चुका है लेकिन ये है कि बस जो थोड़ी बहुत जगहें बची हुई हैं तो उन्हीं जगहों में हम जो उन जगहों को इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं और क्या आप देख सकते हो कब्र से कब्र मिला के खोदी जा रही है अब तो कि जगह को ज़रा सा भी हम वेस्ट नहीं जाने दे रहे
Up to 20 bodies arrive each day, he says. Far more young people than last time. By the end of the week, there will be no space left here.
हेलो
Calls come in from 6 a.m. until midnight.
कोविड से हुआ उनका भी ठीक है ले आइए हाँ लेके आ जाइए हाँ वहीं ले आइए मैं जो भी कुछ हो करा दूँगा टेंशन नहीं मेरे टीम वर्कर हैं मेरे और भी स्टाफ के लोग हैं उन लोगों को भी ज़िंदगी में ऐसा कभी हमने देखने को नहीं मिला जो इस बार हमें देखने को मिल रहा है ना तो रोज़े रख पा रहे हैं ना ही किसी तरीके से कुछ कर पा रहे हैं बस वहीं से कपड़ा छोड़ो थोड़ा सा झुक जाओ
Crematoriums are running out of space too. Makeshift funeral pyres burn around the clock. The death toll in parts of India, both metropolitan and rural, is staggering. And worse still, the number of lives lost here so far is almost certainly vastly underreported.
Make it. A goal is minute 1 hour. Yes, you have this wonderful opportunity to be part of the COVID Care Protection Center. You can register through the link below kailasa.org/Kailasa Care. KAILASA.org/KAILASACARE. So let's take a few minutes for us to register ourselves in the registration link that's shown below kailasa.org/Kailasa Care. Next, we're going to watch a video on how the Nithyananda Paramashiva Devalaya Bidigi temple happened and how Swamiji made it happen by his sheer hard work. Yes, now we're going to see a very interesting segment where natural therapist Dr. Kumaran from Tamil Nadu who came as the COVID care participant, has been giving the mud bath to all the fellow COVID care participants in the Nithyananda Paramashivam feature. So we're going to see how this works. Swamiji beautifully shares that how Bidadi Ashram itself had all the different trees used by Siddhas naturally growing there. Even the mud from the snake holes had special purposes. Everything perfectly made for the Siddha tradition to grow is found in the ashram. There is nothing better than the nature and its byproducts. Nature has given us so many things to heal ourselves. The soil contains minerals and other nutrients in abundance, which makes it a holistic healer. According to Ayurveda, all the things in the visible universe, including the human body, are made up of 5 elements, which is called Panchabhuta. While there are many different types of therapy in Ayurveda, one class of therapy is naturopathic therapy involving the 5 elements. Mud therapy is one of these 5 element therapies corresponding to the element earth. In the ancient Ayurvedic text, the Harita Samhita, 5 different types of mud, clay are described. Each of with their different therapeutic qualities are distinguishable by their color. Black, red, white, yellow, and blue. The very popular Multani Mitti or the clay of Multan used in cosmetics is one type of white clay. The various clays that are used in Ayurvedic mud therapy are usually sourced from the pristine locations like clean rivers and lakes. Traditionally, the mud therapy is generally applied locally as a moist mask, pack, or poultice, combined with special Ayurvedic herbs, though it could be used in the full body mud bath or as a body scrub. The mud poultice remain active as long as it remains moist, and after 20 to 30 minutes, it dries and it washes off. The mud found in different parts of the world has different properties. Mud composition varies with the place of origin. Firstly, a mineral constituent of mud varies with the kind of rocks found in the region and the process of soil formation. Secondly, the mud property is influenced by the kind of flora and fauna of the region. Therefore, it is essential to learn about the properties of mud before utilizing its benefits. It is important to note that before any type of mud, it should be dried, powdered, and sieved to remove any types of impurities such as grass, stones, etc. Now let us look into the black mud, which is dark cotton soil having some greasiness, and it is suitable for mud therapy as it is rich in minerals and also retains water for a very long time. It should always be free from the contaminants and any kind of pollution. The mud from the Dead Sea. It contains more than 20 kinds of salts and minerals, including magnesium, calcium, potassium, potassium bromide, silicates, natural tar, and organic elements. While these beneficial minerals are useful for healing any kind of skin disorders, the presence of silicates makes its masks very beneficial for softening and cleansing skin. The mud enhances the blood circulation and leaves the skin with a glow. Next one is Moor mud. It is a mud produced over thousands of years from organic residues of flowers, grasses, and herbs. This residue transformed over several years to fine paste, which contains fulvic acids. The vitamins, amino acids, plant hormones, humic acids in the form which could be easily absorbed by the human body. The mud has anti-inflammatory and anti-aging effects. It is also useful in conditions such as arthritis and recovery from injury in sports. And hill soil called putru mud, which is used in mud therapy in naturopathy treatment. It helps to remove the toxins from the body, which when applied on the skin, it also helps to relieve the pain on the body when applied externally. It increases the blood circulation, removes toxin from body. It helps to purify the blood. It cleanses the skin by opening pores and removes the dirts and infections. It controls the oil secretion and prevents pimple formation. There are many minerals present in the clay. To get the benefits of sunlight, these minerals will be helpful. Thus, when applied on the skin, it nourishes and gives a skin tone. Nervous issues like stress, anxiety disorder, sleep problems, post-traumatic disorders can be treated with mud therapy, and it helps in clearing blocked neural pathways to the brain. It helps in eliminating the excess heat from the body. It is also very helpful in decreasing the intestinal heat and stimulates peristalsis. It helps to heal stomach issues, including indigestion, constipation, absorption, etc. It is applied over the forehead and helps to heal the congestive headache. It relieves pain immediately. An eye mud pack helps to relax the eyes, especially it's very good for those who sit in front of the computer for long hours. Mud baths are extremely useful in many skin-related diseases, including psoriasis, leukoderma, leprosy, and other skin allergic conditions. Mud has an anti-inflammatory and anti-aging effects. It is also used in conditions such as arthritis and recovery from injury in sports. Mud has the therapeutic properties and is extremely useful in detoxification, healing, beautification, nourishing human body, etc. It rejuvenates and revitalizes the whole body. It also has the property of anti-lice, anti-dandruff effect. It helps in any scalp related issues. It gives a very good texture to hair. Now, what you're seeing is the glimpses of mud baths that happened for all the COVID care protection participants. So that's a couple of doctors, naturopathy doctors, who are applying the mud to all the participants. And they are sun dried. These are the pictures after the mud bath. Now let's actually watch a testimonial from Srimati Avimuktananda Ayya, who's going to share his experiences. And right after that, we have the Dr. Kumaran Ayya, who's the naturopathist and who has actually introduced this mud therapy to all our COVID care protection participants. He is going to join our show shortly. So before that, we will first watch the testimonial from Srimati Avimuktananda Ayya.
Nithyanandam, I'm Srinidhi Avimuktananda. I'm from Mumbai, and thanks so much for all this great opportunity we had today. Month here. So, I mean, I know that many times, you know, in foreign we have seen in the pictures people sit in the beach and take this bath. But whatever happens in Adi Kailasa is not just a bath. It's not just a sand bath. It is just an Aushadha bath. Okay, it's, you know, Swamiji told many times that the sand here, Puttruman, is not just a sand. It's just beyond any medicines. So we had an opportunity today to have a bath on it, and of course we have a lot of pramanas for this. So many siddhas, and you know, in shastras there is a reference for it. And personally, I just here to share my experience that it was so good. And of course, you know, I had an initial inhibitions, and after just seeing few people who dressed like Siva Ganas and enjoying that, so I just joined the bandwagon. It's so fantastic, and I expect, and I pray that all our devotees all over the world have to have this opportunity and just, you know, be with Paramashiva. So this really take us to the space and, you know, for the state and space of Paramashiva. That's what the key of this whole process. So whatever happens in the Adi Kailash, as I said, it's not just a bath, it's a spiritual bath. Thank you so much. Nithyanandam.
Nithyanandam. So, the blessings of Swamiji. Today in Swamiji's ashram we did a mud bath. We take mud bath, but it is very refreshing to the body. And actually, I can feel very light and the freshness is there. So, I feel this everybody may the female bodies also should take this. And regularly, like every 6 months they can take. And during the time after the mud bath, after the mud we apply the mud, and after that we sit in 45 minutes in the open sun. At that time I experienced my body is like levitation. I had the feeling like this, and also after maybe half an hour what I felt was like some absorbing it into my the mud. All the mud is absorbing into my body, like my body became very stiff. So we enjoyed very much, and thanks for the Sangha and Swamiji. It's a great blessing. And Santa Lakshmi Amma and Ayya, everybody who coordinated for this. It's a very big blessing. Thank you once again. Nithyananda. Nithyanandam. So, the blessings of Swamiji. Today in Swamiji's ashram we did a mud bath. We take mud bath, but it is very refreshing to the body. And actually, I can feel very light and the freshness is there. So, I feel this everybody may the female bodies also should take this. And regularly, like every 6 months they can take. And during the time after the mud bath, after the mud we apply the mud, and after that we sit in 45 minutes in the open sun. At that time I experienced my body is like levitation. I had the feeling like this, and also after maybe half an hour what I felt was like some absorbing it into my the mud. All the mud is absorbing into my body, like my body became very stiff. So we enjoyed very much, and thanks for the Sangha and Swamiji. It's a great blessing. And Santa Lakshmi Amma and Ayya, everybody who coordinated for this. It's a very big blessing. Thank you once again. Nithyananda.
Yes, we have now Prabhakaranaya and Kumaranaya from Nithyananda, Adi Kailash Nithyananda Saranipita from COVID Care Protection Center who are joining us in our show today. Yes, Nithyananda Maya.
Nithyanandamma.
Yes. Thank you so much, Ayya, for joining the show today. So, first of all, would you like to introduce yourself to our viewers? Kumaranaya, first, உங்ககிட்ட start பண்ணலாம். நீங்க முதல்ல நம்மளுடைய நேயர்கள் கிட்ட introduce பண்ணிக்கங்க. நீங்க எங்க இருந்து வரீங்க, நீங்க யாரு, என்ன எவ்வளவு வருஷமா சுவாமிஜியோட கனெக்டடா இருக்கீங்க, என்ன பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கீங்க?
என் பேரு குமரன். நம்ம ராயவேலூர், ஆற்காடு பக்கத்துல இருக்கிற வேலூர் மாவட்டம். சுவாமியோட 2016 இருந்து இணைஞ்சிருக்கிறோம். இயற்கை மருத்துவர், யோகா ஆசிரியர். சுவாமியோட தீட்சை வாங்கினதுல இருந்து தொடர்ந்து இந்த மாதிரியான இயற்கை சார்ந்த விஷயங்களையும் இறைவனோட சத்தியங்களையும் மக்கள்கிட்டையும் உறவினர்களையும் கொண்டு போய் சேர்க்கணும். தொடர்ந்து சுவாமியோட பிளெஸிங்ஸை எல்லாருக்கிட்டையும் பகிர்ந்து நிற்கிறோம். அந்த வகையில இப்ப நாங்க இணைஞ்சிருக்கிற இந்த சிசிசி அப்படின்னு சொல்லப்படுகிற கோவிட் கேர் சென்டர் மூலமா இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் அற்புதமான ஒரு வாய்ப்பை சுவாமிஜி எங்களுக்கு ஏற்படுத்தி கொடுத்திருக்கிறாரு. இந்த ஆதி கைலாஷ் அப்படின்றது எப்படி சொல்றது, ஒரு ஆனந்தமான களம்னு சொல்லலாம். இங்க வந்ததுல இருந்து தொடர்ந்து நாங்க ஒவ்வொரு நாளும் இயற்கையோடு இணைந்த மூலிகை குளியல், இப்ப நாம மண் குளியல், இதை தொடர்ந்து நாம பண்ண போறோம் வாழை குளியல், இதுக்கப்புறமா நீராவி குளியல். இந்த மாதிரி நிறைய அற்புதமான விஷயங்கள் இந்து தர்மம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லப்படுகிற மருத்துவ ரீதியான முக்கியமான பழமை முறைகள்ல சுவாமி நாம அதோட மகிமைகளையும் அனுபவங்கள், நம்ம உறவுகள், நம்மோடு இருக்கிற மனக்குளியல் அப்படின்றது பராசக்தியோட எசன்ஸ், எர்த் எனர்ஜி. அதுவும் ஆதி கைலாஷ்ல அன்னை மீனாட்சியோட அவதாரமா நம்ம சுவாமி முழுமையா நமக்கு எல்லாருக்கும் அனுகிரகம் தந்துட்டு இருக்கிறதுனால அவரோட அனுகிரகம் மூலமா நாம எடுத்து இந்த புற்று மண்ணை அடி வயிற்றுலையோ இல்ல முகத்திலையோ இல்ல உடல் முழுக்க அப்ளை பண்றது மூலமா உடல் சார்ந்த அசௌகரியங்கள் உடனடியா தீர்வுக்கு வருது. மனசுக்குள்ள அதிகப்படியான ஒரு மலர்ச்சி, குழந்தைத்தனமான ஒரு குதூகலம், இது எல்லாத்துக்கும் மேல சயின்டிபிக் ரீதியா நிறைய மாற்றங்கள், மலர்ச்சிகள் எல்லாருக்கும் ஏற்பட்டிருக்கிறது. தோல்வியாதிகள், இரத்த ஓட்டத்தில் இருக்கிற பல்வேறு தடைகள், மிக முக்கியமா கழிவுகள்னு சொல்லப்படுகிற டாக்ஸின்ஸ் அப்படின்ற மொத்த கழிவுகளையும் வியர்வை துளை மூலமா வெளியேற்றுவதற்கான ஒரு அற்புதமான வாய்ப்பு இந்த மட் தெரபி. சுவாமி இன்னைக்கு காலையில கூட பதிய வச்சிருக்காங்க. ஆதி கைலாஷ் புத்துமனை எடுத்து புற்றுநோய் இருக்கிற இடத்துல பதிய வச்சிங்கன்னா இமீடியட்டா புற்றுநோய் கரைஞ்சி இருக்கிற இடம் தெரியாம பூரண குணம் ஆயிடுவீங்கன்னு. ரொம்ப நாளுக்கு முன்னாடியும் அடி வயிற்றுல அந்த மண்பட்டிய போட்டீங்கன்னா உங்களோட வயிறு சார்ந்த கேஸ் ப்ராப்ளம், ஸ்டோன் ப்ராப்ளம், இரெகுலர் பீரியட்ஸ், மெயினா இன்னைக்கு இளைஞர்கள் சந்திச்சுட்டு இருக்கிற இன்ஃபெர்டிலிட்டி எல்லாத்துக்குமான ஒரு சிறப்பான தீர்வு இந்த அன்னை மீனாட்சியோட நிலைப்பாடான ஆதி கைலாஷ் புற்றுமன். ஸோ அதுக்கான ஒரு வாய்ப்பு சுவாமிஜி மூலமா எங்க எல்லாருக்கும் கிடைச்சிருக்க. ரொம்ப சந்தோஷமா நிறைவான உணர்வோடு வாழ்ந்துட்டு இருக்கோம்னா பகவானோட பிளெஸிங்ஸ். ஸோ அதை குறித்த அனுபவங்களை நம்மோடு இணைஞ்சிருக்கிற நம்ம பிரபாகரன் ஐயா உங்களோட பதிய வைப்பார். நித்யானந்தம்.
Thank you so much, Aya. That was a very impactful testimonial from you. So I would like to just share what you had shared briefly in English for in interest of other viewers. So Kumaranaya is basically he's coming from Tamil Nadu, and he's actually a naturopathist, and he's also coming from a teaching background. And he's following Swamiji since 2016. And he's here in the COVID Care Protection Center, and he's experiencing so much of oneness with the nature. By working with the nature, connecting with the plants, and connecting with the nature, he's able to experience oneness with Paramashivoham himself. And he also mentioned about how this mud therapy can really create a positive impact in one's health, especially detox and getting rid of many other health issues is very much possible through this mud therapy. And he also mentioned about Parashakti herself has been blessing people to take this mud from the Adi Kailash and use it for even things like healing from cancer to that level. Today morning, Sundareshwara Parampurul has blessed several people. So he mentioned all of that, and he said that it is an amazing opportunity for him to work on this mud therapy, especially the mud that is being blessed by Parashakti herself. So thank you so much, Aya. It was a wonderful testimony. So with no further delay, we'll also talk to Prabhakaran Ayya, who happened to receive this mud therapy. What are his experiences? So, yes, Nithyananda Maya.
Nithyananda Ma.
Yes. So, would you like to introduce yourself with the viewers and then begin your testimony?
Sure. Yeah, Ma. Yeah. So, my name is Prabhakaran. I am from Kanchipuram. So, it's been here like more than 2 months in Adi Kailash. So, we are here and then we are safeguarding ourselves from this corona. So, I brought my entire family here. So, we are all here and staying and then enjoying our joint family experience here. So with that, I know Kumaranaya joined recently. Okay, so he was telling us about this mud bath as soon as he came here. So that was the very first time I came to know about this bath, like a mud bath. There is something called mud bath exists in the world. Okay, I never know there is a mud bath. People take actually. So I got to know that via Aya. So I was very interested in taking this. So and then here in Adi Kailash, like we have this putruman, right? I don't know what is that in English. So that putruman we have taken, and then Aya took that mud and then that putruman, and then he made it as a paste actually, and then we applied that all over the body, complete body. Okay, he didn't leave even single place, everywhere. Okay, throughout the body. You have seen the pictures and all. It's so nice to see on the big screen now. So we have Aya applied throughout the body. Like 4 to 5 people, we have taken in single shot. So after that, actually, Aya told us to stand, under the direct sun, actually. So that's the process we have to go through. So we were standing directly under the sun for 30 to 40 minutes. So a couple of experience I would like to share with all of you. The very first one is about external experience. Like after, Aya put that mud, right? So that chillness, whatever that cold experience, right? And then immediately, immediately you started experiencing that stiffness actually. Okay, so with that experience only we started sitting, under the sun. So after that, like after 30-40 minutes, the very first experience after I removed the mud, right? So the very first experience, I could literally feel my skin is very soft actually. I never experienced my skin is so soft. That was the very first time I could feel my skin is also very soft. Okay, like if you touch the baby skin, how soft it is, the same experience I could feel that time. And then it was shiny as well. Okay, so I was like, oh my god, is it my skin? So that was a feeling I experienced externally. And then internally, if you see, Aya told us to meditate actually. So we are sitting directly under the sun, and then he told us to focus inside, see what is happening inside us, right? So we started meditating actually. So what happened to me, this chillness, it's there in the body, and then the sun outside, the direct heat is actually falling on the head and then throughout the body. See, these both merges, right? So that point I could feel like body doesn't exist. So that was the exact feeling I had actually. So literally light, very light actually. I multiple places I could literally experience that I didn't have the body. So that was a wonderful experience I had during this time, that 30-40 minutes. That was, so I was not interested to come out of that and then remove the mud. But I was telling it's already 40 minutes, we have to clean the body, come. So but I was in that state. It was really very good experience I experienced, Mark. So and then additionally, I am a fan of doing asanas. Okay, I wanted to try that Sirasasana. Okay, so that was one of the favorite asanas. So like usually we could stand for a few minutes. Okay, and then but this time, as I mentioned, body was literally very light. Okay, I could stand more than what usually I used to stand in that asana. So that was another experience when I was taking this mud bath. So thanks to Swamiji for giving me this opportunity to experience this, and then thanks to Kumaranaya and Sandalakshmi Ma.
That was a very interesting testimony. Thank you so much for sharing. Just wanted to hear from you last few words to what would you like to share to our viewers, why they should be part of COVID Care Protection Center.
So yeah, so Ma, the very first thing I would like to share, because this was the first time I'm hearing about this. I don't know how many of us, aware of this mud bath actually. So definitely I would say everyone, should taste this at least once. Once they taste it, they will take regularly for sure. So at least they have to taste once, and then they'll start taking it regularly. And then medically or health wise also, Ma. So I actually last 1 week I used to have this knee, and then below the knee I used to have a different kind of pain actually. Okay, but after mud bath, right side leg and then knee pain completely gone. I don't have any pain at all right now. Left side knee also very light pain is there, but it has gone down to level where I am not feeling that pain is also is there. So these are the things which we are able to notice, but what and that it has done, we will come to know, going forward actually. So strongly, I recommend everyone to take this mud bath once and then experience it. Once they experience it, it will become their regular routine. Maybe once in 2 months or maybe once in a month, they'll take it. And then this is the place, Adi Kailash. So definitely we should try this year. We have